Oh, hello. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do a review of the Nemesis Claw, or Nightlords kill team, whichever you want to call it, right? From the point of view of actually building the thing, right? The actual plastic kits. Because we've done rules. Everybody's done rules. 500 million YouTubers all talk about the rules. But what about the actual, the thing, the product, the thing you buy, the thing you hold in your hand? Let's talk about that. So, the Visionary. So, the Nightlords team is the Chaos Space Marines team with an upgrade frame, okay, with quite a lot of Nightlords parts, alright? So we're going to go through my process of building the team, my thought process, why I built things the way I did, how clear I found the instructions, and hopefully you find this helpful. So, first point of confusion, you turn to the first page and you're presented with this. If you just need to follow the laser pointer, I'm going to say this a lot, right? I mean where the laser is on the screen. So, you're going to be confronted with this, which is usually each model, and you'll see as we go through, each individual model is in a black box. This actually refers to two miniatures, okay? And what it's saying is, you have the parts to build this Visionary with a plasma pistol and an Astraman chainsword, or this Visionary with a bolt pistol and a power axe, okay? And it's basically saying that if you build him, this plasma pistol and chainsword Visionary, then you have the parts left over to build this, what they call a Nightlord Warrior, with an icon for some reason. We'll talk about that later. And if you build this Visionary, you have the parts left over to build this Warrior. Right? Interesting. Interesting. None of it really makes sense, but it's all very interesting. So, first things first, you're going to want to build your Visionary. And if you're sensible, then you're going to want to build him with a plasma pistol and the cool Astraman chainsword, because look at, I know there's some people in the comments, and one guy on the Discord in particular, that are like, oh, you'll sometimes want a power fist. Oh, power fist, power fist, power fist, power fist, power fist. Mate, I want, look at it. It's got a whole ass ribcage on it. I want that, So you build him, you've got your legs go together, you've got a choice of torso piece. In fact, I'm even going to get the magnifier in play here. Look, you got a choice of torso pieces. Can I magnify and laser point? No. Alas and alack. You've got a choice of torso pieces. You can see the cursor, right? Yeah. So I went for this top one because it's got some extra chain detail and daggers, and this one is clearly more plain, right? And then with plasma pistols, you've got a choice of plasma pistol, and I went for this one here because it's got the cool chain detail on there as well, which I thought was pretty funky. And I just thought they seemed more Nightlordy. It points you to a specific head for the leader because there is a Nightlord's head with slightly more impressive bat wings that are a bit bigger, okay, and a bit more leadery, so you want to put those on as well. And then you stick on the chain. So when it's when you see a part with a B, that means it's on the upgrade sprue, right? And when you see a part with an A, that means it's from the Chaos Space Marines kit. So you've put the Chaos Space Marine arm with the sword from the upgrade sprue, right? And then you've got a particular pair of shoulders that are a bit more spiky than the standard Nightlords ones that come on the sprue, right? And then the backpack, it's like, well, you can use these boring standard, like, backpack banner pieces from the standard Space Marine kits, or you can use this bloody amazing skin cloak from the Nightlords upgrade sprue. So, obviously, you're going to select the skin cloak, stick it on there, stick it on there, stick it on there, right? And then ignore the rest, because we're not going to do that, right? So, there's the Visionary, okay? Pretty cool. Moving on, we're going to look at the Fearmonger. So, what do we want to talk about with the Fearmonger? Less to talk about with the Fearmonger, to be honest. So we build the Fearmonger. Again, you build the model, and it tells you to put on a particular chest piece. And I actually tried on one of the later ones, like putting on a different chest piece to the one it suggested. The chest pieces are actually in the Chaos Space Marine base kit. The chest pieces, the legs, and the rear torso, they do need to go together. Certain other chest pieces, they look like they would fit, but they won't actually fit with what you've got, right? Backpack seems like they're pretty interchangeable. I did follow the instructions for the backpack as it goes. And then when you get to... So we're going to build this pink one. So we're going to skip the blue box and the green box. we're going to go down to the pink box here, and it says, okay, cool. So what you want to do is you stick on, from the upgrade sprue, the bolt pistol, obviously drill the barrel first. Stick on the knife with the poison dripping off, all cool. Stick on shoulder pads. So when you get a yellow with a 2 in a box here, it's just saying any shoulder pad with the icon on and any shoulder pad without the icon on. If you actually look through the sprues, you'll see that some of the shoulder pads match up other shoulder pads in the set. There are actually some blank shoulder pads on the Nightlords upgrade sprue, and there are actually, there's blank shoulder pads from the base Chaos Space Marine sprue, and you can mix and match those. Obviously, you want to use a Nightlords shoulder pad on the appropriate arm, that's this side here holding the knife. As far as the other shoulder pad is concerned, you can put on any shoulder pad you want, but stylistically, if you want them to match, you can find shoulder pads that will match the Nightlords shoulder pad that you've put on in terms of the style and the number of rivets. And later on, you'll find that some of them have sort of trim that stops halfway and is only like backward facing trim with a blank plate, and there is matching shoulders for the other side. It doesn't tell you about that, but if you look really carefully at the kit, that's what you should try and match your shoulder pads together. It's not wrong, by the way, if you don't want to do that, because of course the Marines would have cobbled together, especially Chaos Marines, cobbled together their armour, shoulder pad gets broken, Clive's dead, Clive's got a perfectly good shoulder pad, thanks Clive, stick that on me, I look a bit cobbled together. But if you want the less cobbled together look, you make sure it's a choice is what I'm saying, right? There's no wrong choice, but make sure that you go, oh yes, some of these match, do I want them to match, do I want them to not match, rather than just, cool, shoulder pad, on it goes, on it goes, on it goes, without being thoughtful about it. That would be bad. Always make a choice, okay? Worst part of building the whole team, this bottle B3, and it just kind of says, oh yeah, glue it on the belt. But of course, there's no little keyed surface on the belt for it to go onto, because they weren't designed at the same time. So you just kind of have to poke it around, put some glue on it, poke it around with a little your finger, or if you're like me and you've got really chubby fingers, like a little stick or a pair of tweezers or whatever to get it to look right. And that's probably the most difficult part of the whole kill team. And now onto my favourite model, the Skin Thief. Skin Thief. Look at him there. Majestic Skin Thief. So the Skin Thief's pretty cool. The Skin Thief probably has the most original parts from the whole thing. So the Skin Thief here we're following in purple, and you'll notice you put legs and back and backpack on, and then actually his front plate, you replace this A12 front plate with this B12 front plate that has, the cool severed hand and the skin down the front and all this stuff, right? And so that's how you build your Skin Thief. And then we carry on down here for the Skin Thief. You put his shoulders together. Now, the thing with all of these, whenever you're building one that's like 2 arms holding a thing, for the Chaos Space Marine kit, the wrists and the hands are actually keyed together, so you can build the thing, the 2 arms holding the weapon, and then hopefully you just slot them onto the torso. That's the best way around to do it. In some other kits you have to kind of glue on one arm, glue in the gun, and then try and make the other arm fit. It's always the most strangest thing with Marines to try and get them to pose nicely when they're holding a weapon with 2 arms, but the Chaos Space Marine kit works quite well, and obviously the Nightlords upgrade sprue carries on with it, where the weapon is keyed at the wrist joint, so it makes it quite easy. Now, the Skin Thief has a particular head, B16, so you can see it here, where it's not a standard Nightlord's head. He's got these kind of bobbly bits. It was the same with the Fearmonger. He doesn't have a standard head either. He has a hooded head, right? But the Skin Thief also has particular shoulder pads with these pieces of skin hanging on either side of them. And also, you just start to see one here. They have these weird little hooks that go on the inside of the shoulder pads. You can see those going on here. Slightly fiddly, right, but not too fiddly to build the Skin Thief's shoulder pads. Then we've got the Screecher. So again, so far so simple. There is some more nuance to this kit coming later on. So far so simple. Okay, so we're following the purple instructions. So build the Marine as is. Once you've basically built the Marine this far, down to here, you build the arms from pieces that are both on the upgrade sprue, so the B23, B24, B21, B22, specific head there, B25, and then shoulder pads, obviously, whatever you would choose. Now, notice, for me, I went for this spiky shoulder pad just because I quite like the thing where, because he's got these spikes on his leg, on the body that it tells you to use, so spikes on the leg, matching in with the spikes on the shoulder pad, I thought looked quite cool. Not the one they used for him on the box, but I thought it looked quite cool, so that's the way we've gone with the Screecher. Moving on to the Ventilo Car. So the Ventilo Car was really interesting. Build a standard model like this, but then obviously follow the pink instructions. What I hadn't realised is the chainsword arm. There are actually chainsword arms on the Chaos Space Marine sprue. We're not going to use any of them. There are actually chainsword arms on there, but he comes with a specific chainsword arm with a little Nightlords logo on there. That's pretty cool. Also a weird head, right? Notice. And then you've got to build his little dead half a Marine on a stick and get that to glue on. Getting that to glue in is a little bit tricky and requires a little bit of angling it just right, and leaning it on the floor and getting it in the right place. Not helped by the fact that I didn't want to have too many contact points with the bases on mine, because I'm actually, they're super glued onto their bases. I'm actually going to take the super glue off, take them off these bases and glue them onto different bases once everything's painted. So I didn't want that extra contact point. So getting it to set in just the right place was a little tricky, but I have managed it. So there we go. Good. Right, and then we were into, so we've built the special, we built 5 miniatures now, right? We've built the 4 specialists and the leader that we wanted to follow exactly. So the next thing in the book is the missile launcher, right? The heavy gunner with the missile launcher is one of the options. So I figured, well, I'll just build that because I want it to go, I want to have the option of a missile launcher, and I figure it might go better with a specific pose. So I followed these instructions through to build the missile launcher fella, right? I like the fact that he's carrying a knife, because you might quite often give him that equipment, right, in Kill Team, giving him the little knife. That's pretty cool. I do wish this kit had more little greebles and things, like little optional knives and other bits that you could choose to put on your Marines, but it doesn't. But yeah, follow the instructions through, that's fine, and you're just adding the Nightlord's head and the Nightlord's shoulder pad, because we've built all the exciting specialists at this point. Okay. So then we're going to go through the next one. It says as well, I mean, look, I'm going to want a plasma gun, but I reckon I can work that out later. I'm going to go for the heavy bolter, so that, again, the heavy bolter is built according to the instructions, because I'm kind of feeling like maybe that's going to have really specific arms, or maybe it wants to be on a really specific body to look right, okay? So again, go through and build the heavy bolter, following the instructions, just with the Nightlord's head and the Nightlord's shoulder pads. So then the last one that was a standard build was the Flamer, right? Why are you building a Flamer? Well, I've got 10 miniatures, right? So the way I see it, with 10 miniatures, I'm going to build the 4 specialists and the leader. I've got 5 models left, so I'm going to build all 3 gunners and both heavy gunners, right? They might make the Flamer good in the next edition of Kill Team, you don't know. I mean, look, they might totally change the paradigm for the next edition of Kill Team and make it so that I really wish I had a basic warrior or 2. So it is a gamble. And if you don't specifically want to build all 10 miniatures, you certainly don't have to. But it is what I decided to do. So I built a Flamer. I'm probably never going to use him, but I'll have him, I'll paint him, and you'll add a certain je ne sais quoi to my entry as a painting thing on the diorama base, because it's cool to have 10 miniatures, right? So I built the Flamer guy, again, pretty well following the instructions. Didn't use this stupid example shoulder pad with the giant horn sticking up, but otherwise I basically followed the instructions. Right, now we get to the point where it's a little bit interesting. So we want to go back and build a melter gun and a plasma gun, right? So we're going to have to do a little bit of a conversion job. I've put it conversion in inverted commas. I don't really want to call it a conversion because, people say conversion and use it to mean like something really fancy that they like bought 15 kits. We're just sticking some different arms onto the body, and I just want to make sure basically, like, if there's a point to this video, it's just letting you know that you can stick different arms onto the body if that's what you want to do. So we have this one Marine left, which the instructions say you can only build him like this or like this, as a warrior with a bolter or a warrior with a chainsword and a bolt pistol. So I built the base torso here with the legs and the backpack, and then basically what I did was go, I found where previously one of the specialists or heavy gunners that had the option to be the melter gunner found out the arms from here that was supposed to go with the melter gun, so A32 and A33, and I just put those arms onto this body, and it looked like this. And I chose the running one out of the 2 I had left for the melter gunner, because I thought, yeah, melter gunners are going to want to advance, he's running, it looks cool, why not, right? And then finally, brings us on to the plasma gun, who was a little bit more of a mission. So you go back to the start of the instructions, and we skipped over a guy because we said that the leader page was like, oh, you can build this leader and then this guy, or this leader and then this guy. Well, we built this leader, so I guess we can build this guy. So let's find the instructions for this guy. So I'm going to just zoom in briefly again, because these are, right? So the leader here, and there's a choice of tabards, and I'm trying to make this just a basic guy with a plasma gun. So I went for this one, which is the less fancy of the tabard front pieces, right? And built it as far as this. And then I don't really care about any of the rest of this guff, because I'm not putting on pistols and chainsaws and things like that. So then I was like, okay, so I've built the body. Let's get the plasma gun on. So I found where the plasma gun was in the options, A75, and found the exact arms that were supposed to match up with the plasma gunner, so A74 and A73, and I put those on. And then I looked, and the only backpack I had left on the thing, like if you follow all the way through, or the only backpack you're going to have left over is A40 here. So this little bit of instructions here is actually from the Chaos Space Marine box, not from the Nightlords upgrade sprue. For some reason, it doesn't tell you anywhere. You get these three backpacks, right? So A43, and you can see it says A43 here as well. A43 is the backpack it tells you to use for all the things involved with for this model, right? This model, and it turns out this model for all the models tells you to use backpack A43 for both of these, right? Clearly, it wants you to perhaps use A40, which is the only one I had left. A39 is used for the heavy bolter, right? So you've got A40. And then it says down here, oh yeah, you can use these, but these two are designed for the Sergeant, the Chaos Space Marine Squad. Again, they're too fancy. But if you look on the sprue, you'll find you've got these parts, 77, 120, 141, that are just plain little fill-ins for the spare backpack. So you can basically build a normal backpack. Yeah, it has the slightly fancy skull nacelle things on it, but you can basically build a normal backpack, but it doesn't really tell you how you can do that in the Nightlords instructions. It's not hard, but it does just require you to go, oh yeah, I can do that. So you totally can build all the gunners and all the specialists and the leader with your 10 models if that's what you want to do. I know some people are going to say don't bother building 10 models, and some people are going to say I want to build 2 leaders because I want to have to be able to swap in a power fist. That's on you if that's what you want to do, okay? But this is what I chose to do, and it might seem obvious to you, but I just hope you found it vaguely helpful. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed building them. And they're built and undercoated and ready to go. Let's just talk about leftover parts. So, the Nightlords sprue is actually twice as big as this. It's a double sprue. This is just the bit that I've got left over because these are the parts that I had left over after building all my Nightlords. So you can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Nightlords heads and 1, 2 Nightlords shoulder pads. So that's because, obviously, if you weren't building any of the kill team specialists, if you wanted to build this for 40k as a basic Nightlords squad, you'd want them all 10 of them to have these winged hats, right? Now, what's interesting is they give you enough hats to have 10 normal Bolter Marines, even though I think in 40k you'd have to have the aspiring champion, right? So they give you these. They also give you 2 shoulder pads to replace the leader's shoulder pad and the skin thief's shoulder pad, right? So you can build literally 10 guys with bolt guns if that's what you want to do. Or, you know, if you're playing 40k and you're trying to put together a Nightlords army, right, and you buy a few boxes of these, you're going to have enough spare parts, spare shoulder pads, spare bits and pieces to, like, customize your Chaos Lords, your Librarians, your, you know, whatever it is that you want to have in your Nightlords army that isn't just Chaos Space Marines. You're going to have a couple of shoulder pads, and quite a lot of spare Nightlords helmets. So that's quite good, right? And if you're not building the kill team characters, if they don't turn out in the codex to be a thing either, you're going to have spare like Nightlords themed bear heads with hoods, things like that, which you could really use to customize your force. I think that's pretty cool as well. Yeah, so I thought I'd flag that up. And of course, if in the next edition of Kill Team, it turns out that I really want warriors for Nightlords, I just have to track down a couple of basic Chaos Space Marine bodies from somewhere, and I don't have to go and buy another box of Nightlords in particular, because I got so I could build 2 more Bolter Nightlords just with 2 models from the Chaos Space Marine box if I needed to. I don't anticipate that being a thing, but it was in the back of my mind when I was just fine building the Flamer to myself. It's like, well, they could just as easily change this building so that you wanted a Bolter guy, but I don't think they will. But the option's there as well, so that's pretty cool. So let's sum up. So I had great fun building them. Right, I think they look really good. I really look forward to painting them. Look forward to Tuesday's video, which will be about the launch of the next hobby challenge, because Tuesday is the 30th of April, and the next hobby challenge officially starts on the 1st of May. I've talked about the theme a lot, like on live streams and stuff, but this will be the proper video that lays out exactly what it is, exactly what the theme is, exactly how you get involved, all that sort of stuff. And the challenge will be to paint a kill team. And you'll have the entire of May, June and July to do that, right? But my entry is going to be Nightlords. I know I've built them already and undercoated them now because I wanted to get some games in with them, right? But it just means that I'm going to start painting them officially on Wednesday the 1st, which is Wednesday, so there'll be a hobby stream as well, so you'll be able to follow the journey of me painting all the trim and going cross-eyed through the hobby streams, at least at the start of the hobby challenge. So that'd be pretty cool. Launch all that on Tuesday. Look forward to that. Did you enjoy this video or find it useful? I'm pretty unsure. The reason I'm unsure, like, it kind of annoyed me in a way. I don't know if I have a really weird way of thinking about this game, because I know some people are primarily in it for the rules, and some people are primarily in it for the lore. But I think the thing even if you don't love painting, which is fine, I'm not trying to gatekeep the hobby and be like, oh, you have to, if you want to play the game and have an opinion about literally anything, you also have to put in 5 bajillion hours of painting. That's not the thing, but surely the thing that you buy, that you hold in your hand and that you own, is miniatures, right? And the number of people, I'm not calling out any one content creator here, I am calling out every content creator, I think, that got a box of Kill Team Nightmare early. Nobody really did a review of the miniatures like I've just done. No, because I was looking for it before I got my box, because I wanted to know, like, I genuinely had the question, is it possible to build all the specialists and all the gunners out of one box? Because sometimes in the Games Workshop kits, they'll give you the arms for, like, here are some arms, and from these arms you can build either the plasma gun or the melter gun. But if you build like the melter gun, then you don't have the arms that you'd also need for the plasma gun, and then it becomes a massive pain in the backside to convert a plasma gun. And I was trying to decide how many models I was going to build, because I was trying to plan my display base and all this sort of stuff. Couldn't find the information out there, so hopefully somebody wanted the information of how to optimally, like, I suppose, is this the model construction meta? Is that what these are the models that you should build from your one box to have the most complete roster you can have from one box? Because that's what this is under the current rules of Kill Team. This is everything you could possibly want, plus a flamer that you would never legitimately want, but you may as well, right? Okay, someone's going to comment harder about power fists, and I know exactly who it is, but I don't think that's a thing. But you could, instead of the flamer, look, it wouldn't have been as cool as a leader, because you only get one cloak. You could have used one of the generic Chaos Space Marine Aspiring Champion backpack pieces. You only get one, like, leader hat. You only get one leader. Honestly, if I really wanted to do a power fist, I'd have started fucking around with magnets, right? That's the way I would have done that, right? Sorry, messing around with magnets. There was no need for that. I apologise. I could edit it out, but I don't apologise that hard. I would start messing around with magnets, okay? So, like, but the fact that nobody else has made this video makes me think that it's like, Phil, you are stating the obvious. We all know how to build Chaos Space Marines. What? Nobody cares. Nobody even reads the instructions as hard as you. Like, like, sometimes I think I interface with the hobby in a very different way to a lot of people, because, like, a couple of months ago when I was on the old world as a thing and I wanted to paint up a couple of Chaos Warriors, Zimbad was like, oh yeah, cool, no, I've got some Chaos Warriors I bought for a conversion, you can have them. You can have them for free, it's great, it's wonderful. And he was like, I was like, cool, awesome, thank you, Zimbad. And he brought me these baggies, like a box or a bag or something, but the point is, he clipped all the bits off the sprue. And I'm looking at them going, I don't know what the part numbers are. And he looked at me like I had 10 heads and was like, basically, do you need to know the part numbers and the instructions to, like, glue a legs to a torso and a torso to, like, a head and all this? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. And in the end, I kind of sort of worked it out by downloading a copy of the instructions and then, like, rotating all the pieces in my hand and working out, oh, okay, that piece is that Chaos Warrior, and doing it that way. But maybe that's weird, and other people just, like, IKEA it, and I mean, I'm aware that I also consult the instructions when I build IKEA furniture, but maybe there are people out there that go, oh, instructions are for losers, I know how to build Space Marines, bish bash bosh, and they don't really care. Like, so let me know, is what I'm saying. Has this been useful? Because there might be a reason that nobody else is doing the thing, because they just think it's so remedial it doesn't need talking about, but I was looking for it, so now here it is. If everybody tells me that it's a waste of time, or doesn't watch the video, then maybe I won't do it again. But it's been a staple on the channel. If you go back, my first video was like this video for the Sisters Novitiates kit. But then again, I suppose that's slightly more... The thing that might not make this worthwhile is because this is an upgrade sprue kit. Maybe this is only worth doing when it's a brand new kit. I don't know. You're going to do that thing where half the video is on this screen, right? So yes, if you like the video, please leave a comment to say, yay, I like the video, or... Don't just write that. Write something insightful and cool that I'll enjoy reading, please. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're still here at this point after whatever that last minute or two of complete verbal diarrhea was, then please do subscribe. I'm trying to get to, like, apparently if you get to 10k subscribers, Games Workshop send you free stuff. I don't know. It's all rumours and lies, isn't it? But more subscribers can't hurt. And yes, a big thank you, speaking of subscribers, a big thank you to all my members who are the people that support me directly monetarily through YouTube by clicking join channel and sending me some money every month, but especially through Nightfall and Massive Crit, who are both subscribed at the very highest tier and therefore get a shout out in every single video. So thanks, lads, it really does help, and thanks to your support, I'm going to attend quite a lot of tournaments over the summer, which otherwise I would not be able to rationalise the financial burden of. So thanks for that as well. Alright guys, until next time, it's cheerio. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Goodbye. Bye 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 bye.